What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today a very critical report has come out and it proves economists were correct all along. Now, this is looking like it's good news. However, I want to provide a warning to you because the report that came out today, honestly, is not the greatest report, all right? And I don't want you to fall for the trap that this report is going to lead us into. Now, here's what I can tell you. The report that came out today, this was the US GDP, the gross domestic product. It shows that GDP rose by 2.6% over the last quarter. Now, this is higher than the 2.3% estimate that we initially received. Now, here's what I can tell you. Some are saying that this just proves that the US economy was never in a recession. It was never in a recession. Now, the people that are saying this are, in most cases, they are connected with Democrats or the Democratic side. But this is what is so scary. There is something very scary about this number. And again, I'm going to address this in just a second. But first, economists predicted this would happen. Many economists stated that this is simply because of a narrowing trade deficit along with increased spending from consumers. Now, those are the reasons why we have an increased number. However, and again, they made it very clear all along that this would happen and it would likely be a one-off occurrence. Okay? Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but you need to be careful. Do not fall for the trap that we are being led into. Now, why am I telling you not to fall for it? Well, it's actually pretty simple. This rise in GDP, this is not expected to continue. And in fact, many believe that the next quarter will be negative once again. Okay? Well, what is typically happening in the past is and this happens right before a recession, is we see a dead cat bounce, which is potentially what we are going to see this quarter, okay? Because the last two quarters were negative, okay? They were negative, and now we see a 2.6% rise in GDP. This could be that dead cat bounce. However, if it is, it's going to fall right back down. This is exactly what happened back in 2008. This is exactly what happened during the dot-com bubble, okay? This is something that we see time and time again right before a recession. Now, according to experts, one of the things that we are seeing right now, exports will soon fade. Domestic demand is getting crushed, right? And all under the weight of the higher interest rates. Mortgages are, right, these are just collapsing, falling, right? But experts also say that consumers are running out of money. They use a lot of their excess cash in order to prepare for a dark winter, prepare for a potential recession. They bought the stuff that they needed, right? We saw consumers continue to buy vehicles. Granted, it was less than before, but they were continuing to buy vehicles, which is obviously a large purchase. People are still buying homes, even with rates over 7%. We also noticed that families were stocking up on food and essentials right before prices go out of hand. But the main contributor to all this growth is actually services. This is exactly what we saw after 2020 and into 2021, is we saw consumers move away from products and goods over to services, right? There was that transition. And then we kind of went back to goods and now we're going back to services. Now, obviously, this is making things very difficult to gauge, but the services that grew the most was actually healthcare and other services. That is what grew the most. Now, here's the biggest concern. Most experts didn't expect the Federal Reserve to come in and successfully lead us into a soft landing. As a result, the increase in GDP is likely a dead cat bounce. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Go and do your own research on this, but this is likely what we are seeing. Now, here's what we know. We know in order for this to be considered a soft landing, we would have to assume that there's no new rate hikes in the near future. But the truth is that next week, we're likely to see either a 75 basis point or a 50 basis point rate hike. It's going to come next week. So we don't got to wait very long, but this is going to come. We also need to assume that inflation is going to come back down. It's also going to drop quick enough that the Federal Reserve won't feel the need to accelerate tightening or accelerate rate hikes. They must maintain their course. This is how we know that it would be a soft landing, is if the Federal Reserve, if they can maintain course, which honestly, I don't know if they can. And it would be a soft landing if the Federal Reserve decided, you know what, we're there. We are now there. We got rise in GDP. We're good to go. We are now going to stop rate hikes. That's not what they're going to do. They will not do that. Okay? And so that is part of the problem. This is why we know this is likely a dead cat bounce. Now, this is why I say don't fall for it. It is still too soon. Okay? It's still too soon to know whether or not the economy is turning around. And based off of all my research, based off of interviews from large CEOs, the economy will feel more pain that we are, especially from where we're currently at. We're going to feel more pain than what we are currently experiencing. So, as always, don't feel the need to spend your money just yet. Keep saving, pay down debt, reduce your expenses. Be ready for when we actually hit the bottom. And again, this isn't financial advice. I just want to ensure that you know what is currently going on inside this crazy world and inside this crazy economy of ours, right? Now, the last thing I want to say, this rise in GDP is going to have a lot of people saying, all right, it's it. That's the end of the potential recession. We're out of this. Time to invest. Time to buy real estate. Time to go into debt once again. No, this is not that time. Again, this isn't financial advice, but if real estate prices are expected to drop 15 to 20% from where they're at right now, because again, all over the US, we are not seeing prices just plummet. Certain areas are going from $400,000 houses down to $375,000. That's great. They're coming down, right? They're adjusting for interest rates, but not every market is. And so don't go buying in a market that has yet to even drop their prices. Wait. It doesn't make sense to overpay for a property that's going to be less expensive in the next 3 to 6 months. It would make more sense to wait, hold on to your cash, hold on to your savings, and be prepared for when we do hit the bottom. All right? So, lastly, don't fall for this. If you are questioning anything that's going on out there, if you're questioning what I'm telling you in this video, that's great. Question it and do your research. Okay? I highly recommend you do your own research. One of the reasons why I create videos on here every single day is because I'm doing research. I'm doing my own research so that I know how can I trade off of what is currently going on in the markets. All right? So if you guys have any questions, you can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.